Hello, dear ones. Father Peter John coming to you from the Crosswoods at All Saints Orthodox Church in Bloomington, Indiana. Christ is in our midst. I want to continue talking about the Holy Apostle Bartholomew today. You heard a little bit about him yesterday as we continue in this series on the lives of the 12 apostles. You heard about him yesterday because he traveled with the Apostle Philip. Well, he and Philip, you'll recall, were crucified together in Hierapolis. And Philip, through his preaching on the cross, converted the people who were crucifying them. Philip died on his cross. The people got Bartholomew down before he died. And Bartholomew then catechized and baptized those people. What an amazing turnaround story that was. That was yesterday. Well, today I want to talk about what happened for the rest of Bartholomew's life. My goodness, it is astounding. It is 80 degrees here. The leaves are turning. It's just heavenly. Absolutely beautiful. While the weather is gorgeous, I encourage you to come down, walk through the Crosswoods, say some prayers. The bugs are minimal. It's just absolutely beautiful. Okay, back to Bartholomew. So the Apostle Bartholomew, after leaving Hierapolis, he went to India and had great success preaching in India, converted many to Christ. He started many churches there, and he translated the gospel that St. Matthew had written into the native language of the people of India. And after India, he went to Greater Armenia. Now, Greater Armenia was known for having just a plethora of pagan temples there. And as Bartholomew would walk by the temples, the demons in the temples would begin to shriek because they knew that an apostle of Christ was there who had power over them. Well, one of these occurrences actually is pretty powerful. The king of Greater Armenia, his daughter was possessed by a demon. And when Bartholomew entered the town where they were, the demons that were in her began crying out, "Oh, Bartholomew, will you even cast us from this place?" Well, the king heard the name Bartholomew, and he told his servants, he said, "Go find this Bartholomew, whoever it is, go find him." And so they found Bartholomew, and they brought him to the king. And Bartholomew healed the king's daughter, cast out the demons. And the king was so grateful for this that he saddled up these camels and loaded them with gold and silver and gems, precious stones, and sent them to the place where Bartholomew was staying as a thank you. Thank you for healing my daughter. And Bartholomew, when he saw this, he said something. I'm going to just read it to you because it's beautiful. He said, "I do not seek such things, but rather I seek the souls of men. And if I acquire them and bring them to the mansions of heaven, then I will be considered a great merchant in the sight of the Lord." Well, the king was impressed. He'd never heard anybody speak like this before, so he wanted to hear more about Christ and about the kingdom of God. And so Bartholomew taught him and his household and his court, and the king and his household and his court, they were baptized into Christ. And when the cities in Greater Armenia heard about this, they were impressed. They were wanting to follow the example of their king. So they, too, asked for Bartholomew to teach then. And in the end, when Bartholomew finally gave up his life, which we'll talk about in a minute, 10 cities in Greater Armenia had become largely Christian cities. Very, very impressive. So when this happened, though, the pagan priests they were losing their income, they were losing their livelihood because all these pagans were converting to Christ and converting to Christianity, and they were going to churches instead of the pagan temples. They were very, very angry, and they went to the king's brother, and they said to him, you should seize Bartholomew and kill him. Well, the king's brother, he did this. He waited until just the perfect moment, and then he swept Bartholomew away, and he crucified him upside down. But as will happen, a commotion arose, and people began to gather, and they saw Bartholomew there, crucified upside down, and Bartholomew was preaching to them. Well, the king's brother was not happy about this, right? Bartholomew, upside down on a cross, still wouldn't be quiet, and so ultimately the king's brother asked that he be beheaded so that he could preach no more. So the holy apostle Bartholomew gave up his spirit for Christ. May his example be a shining light for us, that we too may be willing to give up everything for the Lord. Holy Bartholomew, pray unto God for us. Christ is in our midst. He is and ever shall be.